Let me see, what animal should we draw? A cheetah. Okay, now a cheetah, it's not a bad one, but a cheetah is actually good because it's part of the cat family. So once if you can learn to draw a cheetah, then you can do a panther, you can do a lion, you can do a cat, you can do a marmot, you can do a lot. There's a lot of animals you can do out there, right? So we'll see if we can do. I'll go. Oh, hold on. Where's the camera? Over here. I'll see if we can do a cat. Okay. Sometimes the shapes have round shapes. So you guys know what a peanut looks like? All right. So let's make the chest a peanut kind of shape right here, right? So we're going to come here, and we're going to do this sort of weird round shape right here. All that is the chest of the cheetah. Why? If you guys look at cats and cheetahs, let me tell you, their bodies are not like that. A lot of people draw bodies like that. If you look at any animal, look at your cat, your dog, if you've got anything, a fish, whatever, there's usually a drop from the back. If this is the back, there's usually a bit of a drop going forward. You know why there's a drop going forward? Why do you think? What is it? It's where the chest is. And what's inside the chest? The body parts, right? So you gotta put the body part someplace. So don't do a straight one right here. This is where the heart and the liver and the lungs, that's why everything has like a big bulge right here. So it puffs out. So we gotta put it on there. So let's go back to our cheetah. So we got the cheetah, cool. Again, we can make all these essentially, if you want, peanut shapes. So if this is a weird peanut, or let's say, what's a rutabaga or something, then you can come in, you can do another, there's a neck, and you see how we overlap, right? You just do a weird shape, and then you've got a head, you're gonna do a head here. Yeah. And the head can actually be, if you want, the head can actually be circles too, right? And this is where I'm telling you, once you figure out how to get shapes, you're going to be able to get everything else, right? Then he has a big back. He's going to have, this is going to be his the hind back leg, which has a lot of muscle, just like a horse. And then you're going to have, usually the chest comes up in here, and then you're going to have a circle and a circle, and then you're going to have another circle up in here, right? You go here. They usually have a dog leg or something. We're going to go here.
Todd, just step a little bit to the right so they can see. A little bit to the right. Can you step a little bit to the right? There you go.
I'm just doing a lot of circles. See, circle, 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 like weird peanut shapes. Here's a peanut shape here. Here's a peanut shape here. And then here's a sort of peanut shape here. Right here. Everything is just made up of spots. To come here, and then we've got it right in here. All right, so if I take, oh, we don't have another color. I was going to outline the color. So if we come here, now, so what do we got, what does the cat look like? What kind of, oh, thanks. What kind of ears does the cat have? What's the shape? If you were going to come up with a shape, what's the shape? Triangles, good, that's it. Everything is a shape. You keep things in shape, you're going to be good. Just think of it. So it's going to have triangle head ears here. Oh, I should probably maybe be drawn on the other side. Right there. Then we're going to have some eyes in it, right? Cheetah has up in here, has the black sort of nose on it. Drops back in here. It's going to have the whiskers. I'll put that on a little bit later. It's going to come up in here, and then it's going to have a big, long tail. And then, what does the cheetah have? What does the cheetah have? Your favorite animal? Yes, spots. You're going to have spots on it. And then you put your spots on it. And you can either make circles for spots, but if you're going to do spots, make sure they're not all the same. Make sure they're not all the same. All the spots are not the same. But if you want to get real fancy with the spots, you can make it kind of like C's. Because if you actually look at a real cheetah, they're actually not round dots. They're actually like little kind of weird C's that are on them. So you can make them like that. And eventually, you can get there. Now, if that was my pencil drawing, then I would be taking my actual pencil drawing and just doing the shape, which is here. And I would refine this drawing here, and then you could erase all the black, right? Then you put your outline around here. Up in here, and you would have a pretty good shape, and you erase all of this stuff in between here. So you don't have to get your drawing right out of the gate. You can do it different. But if you start with easy shapes, let's go, okay, we'll start here. So you start with a big circle. That can be a lot of animals, right? Every animal's got a circle here. So if I go here and I do this, what do you think that's going to start turning into? What animal do you think that's going to start turning into? What is it? Yes, elephant. Right. Why? Because it has a trunk. Right. We're going to put the elephant here. And then what does the elephant have? It has a big sort of head here. And then it has big ears, right? You put the big ear. Again, remember, this right here, you're going to erase this, right? Once you get to your other one, you're going to erase that. And then it has little tiny eyes. And then it has like tusks or horns or whatever you guys, they're called tusks, but we'll call it right here. And then the fun part, look, I'm going to tell you the fun part of drawing is once you get the shape, is then doing all the detail, right? Because elephants have a lot of wrinkles, so you get to put like cool wrinkles on them. And they're wrinkled all over the place. You can do some fun, and you start doing little tiny lines on stuff, and you get like the big one. And this guy's got the big chest too, except for his feet are not going to be skinny with a little foot. What does the elephant's foot look like? Like it looks like that. It's like almost like the can I showed you right here. The foot looks more like this of an elephant, right? Watch this. I can make an elephant foot out of this easy. Right here, right here. Give him a little toenail, and you come up in here, and then you're going to get wrinkles in the knees, and then they're eventually going to go into the body up in here. So all these shapes that you're using, you can turn it into any character that you want by using those kinds of shapes. So we'll combine the drawing for you guys and the parents now. So this parents, pay attention, because this is going to apply to your Pictionary. Here's the one thing. My wife is here. If my wife is here, and I bug her when, oh yeah, she's here. Every one of my wife's animals looks exactly the same. I don't know if you guys are guilty of that, but let me just tell you, when I love my wife. We've been together almost 50 years, but it's okay, who's 13? Who's 13 here? Okay. She was 13 when we started dating, so get on it, dude, right? Time's ticking. All right, so here's my lovely wife, Wanda. This is her elephant. Okay, not bad. Okay, now this is her grizzly bear. Oh. All right. Okay. This is my dear wife's elephant. This is my dear wife's bear. This is my dear wife's dog, and this is my dear wife's sadly giraffe. Okay. Now, if you're paying attention, the one thing you're going to notice is that her elephant and her bear and her dog and her giraffe kind of look the same. This is what happens with adults when they're doing Pictionary. Every animal kind of sort of is based on the same 5 lines. Children and adults, all you have to do is find one thing that makes it that animal. And if you're lucky, you can find 2, but just find the one thing. So even if we were going to draw like this, so here's this, and I was to say to you, make a giraffe. What's the one thing that makes a giraffe a giraffe? Yes. Long neck, right. Just get the one, adult, get the one thing, right? You take that and you go, and then you do that same head, right? I'm telling you, people will guess a giraffe. I promise you they will guess a giraffe. I mean, it's probably nice if you put a little tail on it too. But that's it. Just move it from here to here, right? Okay, if I was going to say, let's try another one then. If I was going to say, how about a rabbit? What would you pick? If you were going to pick a rabbit, what? Long ears, of course. Man, we got smart kids here today, right? You take your drawing, can you see it here? Yeah. You take this drawing and you give it ears like this. What do you think they're going to guess? Oh, here's the second thing. What's the second thing you think you can put on a what? What did you say? Yeah, watch. You just made it a bunny, right? With a couple additions. And now if we go back to the elephant, what's the 2 things? What's the 2 things that we think we can put on an elephant? Okay, yes, young man, tomahawk. What 2 things you think? Give me one. Oh, that's 3. Okay, so we got 3. So, okay, we can give them toss. All right, boom. And what else? What, trunk, done. And one more. Yes. Big ears. Right? Can you guys see it? Right here. Go close. They'll guess that's an elephant. You don't even have to worry about the rest of it. Right? You can go in there. Look at this one right here. Let's make this one. If I was to say, do a pig, what would you put on a pig?
Pig.
Who we got? Yes.
Yeah, a pig.
What is it? Yeah. Okay, we're going to make a pig. We're going to give it a square nose. And what else do pigs have? Right. You guys are better than moms and dads. Right? There you do. You give it they will guess that. So whenever you're drawing any animal, try and figure out what's the thing that animal has that no other animal has, that when you draw it, that people will be able to see it. And you guys guessed a bunch of them, right? You guys already guessed that. Giraffe. Look like a giraffe. We converted this one to a rabbit. This one looks like an elephant. And this one looks like the pig. That's it. You guys keep those simple shapes in mind, then you're going to be pretty good. The only question is, how do you then get better than drawing stick legs? Everything, if you take off all of our skins and all of our organs, what's underneath our bodies? Skeletons, right, bones, good. All right, so we all have joints. That's what I was saying, the sort of the peanut shapes, right? If you look at an arm of almost any animal, you're going to come here. There's your peanut shape. And then this is going to be the knee. And then you draw another peanut shape. And then you put the foot on it. Right? Wherever the foot is. And you're going to have either a leg of an animal, depending if it's a hoof, you go short. Is that on screen? Oh yeah, okay. We're going to go here. Just keep doing these overlaps. Why? Because this is the bend. This is the bend right here, right? Our knees bend, our legs bend. So once you know how to draw a straight leg, you just watch how you bend it. I'm going to draw the same peanut, except for now this one. I'm going to draw the same shape, except for now I'm going to turn it. And then I'm gonna have the lion foot up in here. And now it's bent. It's bent. And now you can bend stuff and it all makes sense because it's all overlapping, which is basically where the bend is in your arm. Right up in here. Cool. All right. So you do that, you figure out the bodies. The bodies are the same way. Like I said, like you're gonna do, let's do, they don't have them here, but let's do, how about a shark? Right, we'll do a shark, because a shark's just a shape too. Let me see if you're down here. Okay, so a shark is the same way. You're gonna be here. What does a shark have? What kind of nose? Pointy nose. Don't make a round nose, make a pointy nose. You're gonna do a shark, make a pointy nose. Make a pointy nose, come here, give him just a little bit of a belly. Give him a little bit of belly, because he's gotta have all of his guts. He's gotta have his guts, and then you come up in here and you do this, right? You get even close to that shape, you're gonna draw yourself a pretty good shark. Who likes sharks? I like sharks, right? I like rhinoceroses. And now, what do sharks have that make them sharks? Yes. So you come up here, you give them a fin, and not only do they have a fin, but they have, it's like sloped. So you see it sloped and then straight. And then, what else do they have? Fins down here. Dorsal fins. So you come in here, boom. You put one here that has gills. We'll give a couple gills. It has black eyes. You guys have seen John. It's cool. The mouth is sort of down here, and they're usually kind of sad. So, because they're not too happy until they start eating things. So, and then you can even get a little tricky and give little baby ones here. But they also have the tail. And on the shark, a lot of them, the top tail is bigger than the bottom one. Then you come up in here, and you do a small one, and very quickly you got a shark. Right, now if you color that, then you're going to give them a little bit of white, probably down up in here. It's going to go up in here, and it's going to be a different color. So you get some cool color in there, and you can draw a shark. And if you want him to be a mean shark, just give him a little bit of a frown. Right there. Now you got a little bit of a nose, right? You just start adding. So some of you that are a little bit older, if you're young, just get a nice shape. If you're doing it, you can turn that almost into any kind of fish. You want to do a goldfish, you make a round face. But as you get a little bit older, then this is where you have a little bit of fun. Like you get like 8 or 9, you've drawn like your elephants and whatever. You start adding these little fun pieces, which is the little extras. Not only do you have the gill, you go, maybe I'm going to make it so I'm just got a little tiny piece on there like that, right? Maybe he's got a couple scars on here. Maybe I'm going to have a little bit of wrinkle coming here. You add the extra pieces later. But when you're younger, just get the simple pieces that are up here.
Hey Todd, actually, before we start doing some Q&A, I have something I think you should draw because we're at the zoo.
Okay, we draw something because we're at the zoo.
Yes. So one of the things which most parents will know is one of the things Todd's known for with his Spider-Man is his webbing. So do you want to show him how you do your webbing that made your webbing very different?
Oh man. Okay, I'm going to show you how they do. If you buy any Spider-Man comic book, everybody does their webbing the way that I invented it years ago, even though they got mad at me for making new webbing for Spider-Man because they didn't want me to change him. But, so, when I was younger, this is what Spider-Man's webbing used to look like. It used to be 3 lines, and then they would put X's in it. That was it. That was how for 30 years Spider-Man's webbing was, and it worked. It worked. Here was my problem. And this is good that John's here. You couldn't take that style of webbing and shoot it towards camera and do really cool stuff. Because I just wanted to draw fun, cool stuff, man. Because if you want it to come towards camera where things get bigger, then all you could do is make the lines get bigger and the X's get bigger, and the bigger the X's got, it just looked dumb to me. It looked dumb. So I just go, no. We've got to make something that seems a little more realistic than that, right? So he's got his web shooters. You know, he's got those little web shooters he does, right? People do that pose. I took it as being like thin rope. Thin rope. Also, when I took over Spider-Man, the way that it worked, and if you watch the old cartoon stuff, he would shoot his web, and then he would grab it and he would swing, and he would shoot his web and he'd grab it and he would swing. And to me, for the parents out there, I always thought it was more like Tarzan. That's what Tarzan did. Remember, he went from vine to vine, right? And so Spider-Man was just going, vroot, vroot, vroot. And I thought it was Tarzan. And I went, no, come on, man. That's not what spiders do. What do spiders do? They crawl, right? So I wanted him to shoot and then go and climb up his webs and then flip and climb. I wanted him to be, again, I wanted him to be a bug. So how did we get there? Now, let me tell you that the inventions that came up with the webs, I wouldn't have come up with that if I was 50, because it takes too much time to draw, right? So it was a young man's invention, I promise you. Does anybody know, does anybody do Play-Doh? You guys do Play-Doh? Is that a thing here with kids? Oh, you guys do Play-Doh. You know the one, I'm going to age myself, hopefully they still have it. You know the one you put in that makes it like kind of spaghetti? Right? I'm telling you, that's exactly what this is. To the point that when I was getting in trouble from changing all these things at Marvel, the editor-in-chief at that time was an Italian guy, right? Tom DeFalco. Nice gentleman, Italian guy. But he would get frustrated at me because you keep calling me in and go, Todd, you can't change this stuff. It's Spider-Man. Spider-Man, you can't change it. And I would just say yes, always say yes to your mom and dad, even if you're not going to do it. Rule number one. So I went, yes, sir, I'll do it. But then I would just do it even more. But he got so mad that one day, and he said, I don't remember saying that to you, Todd. I'm like, oh, I do. He said, he got so mad, you got to stop doing this and this and this, and then he got so angry, he went, and you gotta stop doing those spaghetti webbings. And he said it, I don't know if it's his Italian heritage, but he spit it out, and that whole time he was talking to me, I felt like Charlie Brown, you know, when the teachers talk? Womp, 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 spaghetti webbing. Womp, womp, and I go, and all I remember that day was going, he gave me a name for it. Cool, right? So I'm not stopping it, but now I have a name for it. So it's actually now affectionately known in the industry as spaghetti webbing. So the way that it works is that, and I'm going to do two versions because I'm going to show you how it works, and I'm going to show you how I did it, which is the dumb version. You got a strand. This is a strand. Think of that as like a piece of thin rope, and then you got another strand. And then you get another strand, because this is it. Remember, you're doing Play-Doh. You're just making these little spaghetti things. And then, I would take one piece and I would wrap it. And then I go, okay, this piece is going to go wrap around here. And then it's going to come in here. And then it's going to come up in here. It's going to wrap up in here. It's going to come up in here. Then maybe I'll just have it go in here. It doesn't have to always wrap. It can go in between. It can go here, up in here, back up in here, and then, you know what, maybe I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and so on, and so on, and so on. Here's I won't do I won't do the crazy part. Do I have the red over here? Here's the crazy part of it, is that, see how I'm crossing lines? I didn't do that. I actually would go, in this instance right here, I would actually go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I would go here, draw that, come up in here, and then I would continue. And I would draw it here, and then I would draw another one, come up in here. And I never crossed the lines. After about 5 months on Spider-Man and refining it, you could follow this one strand all the way through, over and over and over and over and over, and I would never cross it over. Right? I look at it as an old man now and go, Todd, I don't even know what you were doing back then. And even crazier, kids, is that Spider-Man would have like this one right here would have one strand. I would then draw Spider-Man, so it'd be Spidey up in here, with his leg doing its crazy pose or something. Yeah. Up in here, and then I take his web, and this is what I did with the webs. And I'd wrap it around his leg, and it'd come up in here, and it would, and I would draw all of the, instead of just one that he was doing for 30 years, I made him look like a cowboy that had like a rope and was calving or something, and then all of that, I did that on all of that. It's not really a sane thing that happened back then, but luckily people ended up sort of liking that. Hey, so do you want me to do quickly Spider-Man head? Because
Yeah,
I'm going to do a Spider-Man. It's not, and a spider isn't kind of an animal, and we're at the zoo, kind of an animal, spider, so it's in keeping. But I'll show you how to draw a real easy Spider-Man. You'll be the best Spider-Man artist.
So I was thinking while you do that, maybe we should have some questions from some kiddos in the audience.
Let's
What do
do
you
it.
think? All
Let's
right,
do it.
anybody got any questions? Well, he draws Spider-Man. If you have a question, raise your hand.
All
You
right.
got a question? All right, we'll start here, and then I got a couple over here. Okay, ready? Okay.
Chivati.
Yeah.
He just wanted to say hi. All right, got a
All right,
question.
if you're gonna draw any superhero or whatever, the easiest one to start with is you draw a profile, right? So, which is basically a skull. So we're gonna draw a skull here, right? Here's the jaw, here's the back of the skull, and here's the front of the skull right here. You're just drawing like a skull shape. Now I'm gonna do a small version of here, what a skull looks like.
All right, Todd, you got to go down a little bit or move the camera a little bit. Hold on a second. Bonnie's got it.
Oh, back, right here. Oh, okay. So there's basically that shape is this shape, right? If you look at a skull from the side, you're going to have the big hole where the eyes are supposed to be. You're going to have the socket where your nose is supposed to be. And then you're going to have your jaw, which is where your mouth moves, right? There you go. And just so you know, kids, there's only one thing that moves in your head that even allows you to talk. Right? There's only one thing. Your bottom jaw. Like this doesn't move. All this is stationary. Right? It's that thing that moves around. So, and if you get hit by a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, then your jaw gets to do this. So, but
That's real, folks, by the way.
that's an injury. Okay, so here's Spider-Man here's Spider-Man. Right? So, first thing we gotta do is go, okay, where's his nose? Just draw a circle. Just draw a circle. And then we're going to do the eye. One, boom. Don't get it fast, get it fast, get it fast, get it fast. Now, once you get the shape of the eye, you have to then make a nice, thick, black eye. So once I've got that shape, I can't leave it like that. I now have to come in here, and I have to get this thing to be big and thick so that I get spider eyes.
All right, so while you do that, I'm going to get a question over here.
Do it.
What was your question?
How do you draw a skull?
A squirrel?
A skull.
Oh, a skull? A skull?
There, yeah.
Okay, the easiest way, again, is to sort of kind of do a circle. Can you see it? So do a circle, and then sort of come in here, and then do like a little bit of a small box underneath it. So there it is. If you want to do it from the front, you just move that box to the middle, right? So you do your circle, and you move that box to the middle, and you go here. Because now this is a side view, and this is a front view now, right? If I do the front view, I have the eye, I'm going to have the eye, I'm going to have the nose, and then I'm going to have the teeth up in here. Boom, boom, boom. And again, it's sort of simple drawing here, but you can get there pretty quick. If you do that in Pictionary, somebody's going to guess that that's a skull at some point, especially if you do the teeth up in here. So everything is, like you said, you can find a couple of easy shapes. just do your couple easy shapes and you can get to almost anything. So Spider-Man,
So while you finish that, I've got another question over here while you finish putting that in.
okay?
What is your favorite thing to draw in the Spider-Man series?
The favorite thing to draw on him? I would say oddly, and even though it took a lot of time, is, and I'm going to show you how it works a little bit later, is the webbing on his costume. Because if whatever design you have on your shirt, when you turn your arms and you turn your bodies, and this is true for animals, then the design has to turn with it. We have a tendency to, when we draw, to not realize that things are moving and turning like this. So I thought a lot of artists made a mistake on Spider-Man, on his webbing, on his costume, because they would draw the body and then just draw straight lines. It doesn't work that way. Once the hand turns, then the webbing has to turn with it. So I'll show you how that works on the head. Okay, so you guys see how you guys have got the big head, the big eyes now, nice and thick? All right. And now we're going to get to what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man. He's got like webs, besides he's got big black eyes here. All right. So then what we're going to do is we're going to give him his webbing. Now, when I took over the book, there was maybe 5 lines on his face. Maybe 2 down below and 3 above. I made it like 15 lines. Again, that was young Todd going, hey, not only am I going to spend a lot of time on that webbing, I'm going to spend a lot of time on this webbing, which basically meant that I would go from this centerpiece. You guys got this drawing here from this centerpiece. That, you know why I drew that nose? Everything's going to come from the nose. Watch this. Watch this. Line. Line. Continue. Line. Line. Everything like a star, like you know, you guys draw. Sometimes you draw a sun, and you make a sunburst, right? Then you're gonna have these lines. It's just that at some point you have to start to bend it around the head, just a bit. All right, not bad. All right, and then you get to the real busy part. Now here's the thing. Here's where they make a mistake. See that web right here? You guys know what Spider-Man's face looks like, right? Right here, it's eventually going to go down his body, and this is where somebody was asking me, what's my favorite part? It's eventually going to go down his body, but it can't go down his body up and down, because by the time it gets to his neck, it has to be this direction, right? Right now, on his nose, it's up and down. I've got to get it to this direction by the time I get it to his neck. So how do we do that? I'm gonna show you real quickly. I'm going to use the red as basically if this was my pencil, right? So I would just go here, here, and then I'd start to turn it. I've got, like, you're going to start to see, I'm going to start to turn it, and those lines start to turn so that by the time they get down to the neck, they're that direction. I started up and down, I started this direction, and I ended at this direction. Why? Because I've got to get this to tilt all the way coming down his neck. And then, once you do the circles, once you get the circle, I'm going to show you a front drawing real quick. Once you guys get those circles, if you guys done any of those circles, see those red circles? This is now how you do easy webbing. All you do is then just do little droops and make sure that you just go and connect like that. You just go down and make sure you just connect to each one. Boom, connect, connect, connect. You're connecting to the lines. Connect, connect, connect. And you do that for his whole body for about 6 drawings on a page times 20 pages times. No, it's like, I used to have a day that was my webbing day. I would do all my drawings, and then all I would do was then come in and do all this all day long until I got it all done. But it comes in, and I'm not being super tight with it, but and then you can get a Spider-Man. Done. And then the only thing is you start drawing a little bit more of the body, you just add more of the pieces, and you keep doing the same thing. And it's always pointing down, always pointing down, always pointing down. And you get it his whole body. Here, 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 and eventually you have it. Now as you get a little bit older, you just start putting in a little bit more detail. The back of the head usually has a shadow on it, right? So you give it a little bit more shadow on the back of the head. You have a way big shadow underneath the neck. Yeah. And now you've got, pretty quickly, you've got your Spider-Man. You want to do a little bit of highlights on him, just so it looks like he's got a face underneath there. You're going to do some neck muscles on him. So this is when you start getting a little bit more sophisticated, but even if you just get the basic simple stuff, and then you start adding basically the chest and everything else, and you start drawing the rest of them. But you can get the Spider-Man real quick, right? On as long as you can do a straight skull or a round skull. Let me show you. If you do it from the front, it's the same trick. You're gonna have the eyes. I'm gonna do it quick. You're gonna have the big eyes. Oh, you're gonna go back? Oh, I don't have it there. There you go. All right. You're gonna have the big eyes, and then you pick your circle, and you just make bigger circles. Yeah. And then you just do all those lines again. From that main one, like a star, like a sun, and then this is not conducive. It's a thick. Oh, we've got a thin one here. Perfect. Then you get the thin webs, and then you start doing the actual webbing, because the webbing is that crazy stuff here. And you've got all the markers for everything. You just keep going to those little connecting points right there, and then you erase the red on it, and you get the Spidey real quickly.
So we're almost out of time. I just want to there's a couple kids that had some questions. So I'm going to come and try to get some more questions here. Go ahead.
Okay, who wants to see it? Hold on, before we go, I created Venom. Who wants to see a Venom? Who likes Venom?
So while you're doing that, we're going to ask a question.
What age did you draw Spider-Man?
Oh, man. I think they gave me the book in 1988. So I would have been 27. So I broke in kind of late. I probably broke into Marvel comic books at about 24, 25. Oddly, that's kind of old. Most kids break in about 21-ish. Some at 20. I had some of my friends broke in at 19, 18, 19. So I was a late bloomer to get in because I went to college, and so I got my first job right out of college. Here's what I'm going to tell you about drawing. The best advice I ever got, to some extent, and it was the one I hated the most when I used to show my artwork, is that you show your art to people, and then they say this to you. That looks good. You need to continue to draw. Now, you walk away. I used to walk away mad, going, "What do you mean I got to continue to draw? What kind of information is that?" And the answer is, they just said you need to practice more. Right? So people tell me, they show me their art. I have lots of parents show me the art of their kids, and then they go, "So what do you think? What kind of talent do you think you got?" And I go, "No, there's talent there. So what do you think in the future?" And I go, "I don't know, because I don't know how much your kid's going to draw." Here's what I know. You take two kids that are 12, and you say, "We're going to teach them how to speak Cantonese." And one is going to practice 1 hour per month, and the other one is going to practice 3 hours a day. At the end of 1 year, who do you think is better at Cantonese? Of course. The person who did it more. The reason I am better than anybody in this audience at art is only for one reason, is they paid me to do it 1,000,000 times. But if they paid you to do it 1,000,000 times, you would be amazed at how good you would be, right? So I just have done it over and over and over and made all the mistakes. And so I'm just better at you because I just have experience at it. That's it. Not more talent, more experience. So if your kids have an aptitude, just keep encouraging them. Please encourage them, right? The one great gift, and I mean like emotionally great gift, but it also was a great gift that my parents gave me without even really knowing it, was that I was about 17 and I said I wanted to learn how to draw comic books. And that Christmas they bought me a drafting table to draw on. It was the equivalent to me saying I want to play baseball and they bought me a baseball glove. They go, oh, you want to draw? You need a tool. Oh, here's some pencils, and here's some paint, and here's a desk. They didn't say, why you want to be an artist, but artist camp. They didn't do any of that. They went, you want to be a drummer? I guess we got to get you drums, right? So I did that, and for my entire run on Spider-Man and the Hulk, I drew on that table all the way up until, I still have the table today, but I drew every page I worked at Marvel on that table my mom and dad gave me at 17. So supporting your kids in the arts is a big deal. All right, we're going to do a quick Venom. Venom has a big eye. We're doing another, he has a big eyeball here. It's all white. He comes back in here. He's got a big, cool mouth. We'll get him up in here. I'm going to go fast because maybe time's running out here.
It is. We got about a couple minutes, and then we got a
He's got
special
tea.
surprise.
Venom's got some cool tea. You give him some cool tea. Boom, boom. Maybe he's got a nice wrinkle because he's smiling a lot up in here. Then you don't take the teeth all the way up because you got gums. So we're going to go gums up in here. Come up in here. We got to give him teeth down at the bottom. Again, I'm going real fast. I always like to give bigger teeth at the bottom. They always look cooler. Venom has this crazy sort of big tongue. I won't make it as big as some guys do. I'm not really a big fan of long tongues. I don't think they're very dangerous. Looking like it's weird, always weird. I don't know that if I had a villain in front of me and they go, "I'll get you," I don't know that I'd be afraid of that guy. But anyways, I think they overuse it a little bit. Gene Simmons, A Kiss, he used it effectively. If you're gonna have a tongue, then do a little bit of slobber. Always looks good, right? It's got a small chin up in here. Give him a frown, because he's always mean up in here. And then, unlike Peter Parker, he's big. So when you come up in here, he's got a big thick neck, and then he's got big shoulders and arms, and he's like a big bear. He comes back up in here. And then he's got a big thick neck down in here. Do it up in here. He's got his chest up in here. And then you get, again, when we're drawing, we do quick drawings. You guys see how fast I'm going? I keep saying go fast, right? You guys go fast. And then from there, then once you get it, then you can come back in and then you can spend your time and do all the cool stuff, like the feathering and all that other stuff that we end up doing. So there is Venom, and then we'll put a little spider here that you might want to eat, right? What does a spider have? 8 legs. Just make sure whenever you draw a spider, make sure you do 8 legs on your spider, and then they have webs. So make sure that it's not just a straight line, and then he's going to eat this little spider. Doesn't even know he's going to get the spider that are in there.
All right, folks, let's put our hands together for Mr. Todd McFarlane. Incredible. Thank you so much, Todd. We're going to do something special here. We're going to allow you to have your drawing signed by Todd. Only passports, please.